Hey, what's up you guys, it's Skylar. Welcome back to my channel. So if you have been following my YouTube journey for a while, you would know that I personally identify myself as an introvert, which means that going outside and meeting new people or just being placed in a very noisy environment is a very stressful situation for me. That's why I'd rather stay home, because home is a place where I can recharge. So that's the reason why in my second year of university, I mainly stayed home unless I have to go out for classes. Home was the place that I fill up my people water, because there's only an amount I could use a day, and after exceeding that amount, I get exhausted very quickly and I just need to go home and rest and just not talk to anybody else. That is who I was, and maybe still who I am. In this video, I mainly want to focus on how much I've changed since then. So I've met up with friends that I haven't seen for years since I graduated high school, and when they saw me, they were shocked because I've changed so much, but not in a bad way, in a good way. A lot of my friends who knew me before I went to Spain also said that Spain changed me in some way, and they can't really pinpoint why. And honestly, I kind of know what they mean. So the first thing I learned in Spain is to be more initiative. When you want to hang out with your friends, don't wait for them to ask you out. Just ask them if you want to hang out. Just hit them up with a message. When you want to do something, do it, because time doesn't always wait for you. The second thing I learned is to not be afraid and just say yes to all the possibilities out there. I mean, I myself probably didn't really do that in Spain, but it's something I was aspiring to do, because sometimes the only reason you're saying no is because you're lazy and you don't want to go out and you don't want to do things, which is always my case. So yeah, say yes and go out more often, because sometimes those things that's outside only happen once and you wouldn't want to miss out. So in this video, I want to talk about how I stepped out of my comfort zone, how deep down I'm still an introvert, but when showing it to others, I try to be more confident and not that afraid. And this is completely from an introvert's perspective. I'm not at all an extrovert, but sometimes having this extrovert characteristics really helps with your life and everything related to it. So this is just going to be a ramble video. I will talk about my experiences. So when I was in Spain, I was an exchange student. In Spain, in Oviedo, there were people from all over the world. There were people from Europe, from America, from Australia, from New Zealand, and from Asia. People from all over the world gathered in this small town. We all have different cultural backgrounds, which makes it very hard for different people, for example, for people from Europe and Asia to be friends, because sometimes our point of views are quite different, and when people aren't really open to that much of a difference, it's hard for them to open to being friends. And I remember the first few days when I was in Spain, when I was in the Erasmus activities, I realized how easy it is for Europeans to just go up to each other and talk to each other, and they just a drink in hand and they just go to a bunch of strangers and introduce themselves and say, hey, my name is blah blah blah, what's yours, how are you, where are you from? And they just started conversation from that. And it was something that I was never able to do, but you know, I told myself I was in Spain and I'm only here for 6 months, might as well do it, might as well, yeah, I may feel uncomfortable, but you never know what might come out of that. But I mean, it still took me some time to get used to it, but slowly I'm able to walk up to people and just talk to them. And sometimes it's all in our heads, thinking that people don't want to talk to us. They're very welcoming to new people with new thoughts, with new minds, and it's always nice to have someone who has their own unique state of mind to join the conversation. And slowly for me, it became easier to start conversations. That's why back in Taiwan now, I'm not that afraid to talk to new people anymore. So about being more initiative, I talked with one of my friends who is pretty much the same background as I am. She also studied in New Zealand for a bit. So when it comes to different things, we always seem to have similar ideas and thoughts. So I was talking to them and we talked about this idea of celebrating birthdays in Taiwan, and at least for her in New Zealand and for me in Europe. In Europe, for example, my birthday is coming up. I'm going to let all of my friends know, and I'm going to make them make time for me to celebrate my birthday, because it is a glorious holiday. Why can you not celebrate it? In New Zealand, I think it's pretty much similar to Europe. However, in Taiwan, you don't tell people about your birthdays. You don't want to be a show-off and say that, hey, so I was born 23 years ago, give me presents. So as a result, people don't say that it's their birthdays, but they have their birthdays on their Facebook, and they secretly wish that their friends will celebrate their birthdays, will give them a surprise birthday party or something. Sometimes that do happen, sometimes it never happens because people don't value birthdays as much, at least people in my friend circle. So it's not really a thing to celebrate birthdays here. But when I got back from Spain, as I mentioned, I think I did talk about this in my previous videos, I just messaged everyone. When I got back, it was around mid-February. So I was telling everybody, okay, everybody, March 4th is my birthday. Everybody make time for me. Come to my place, we can have pizza, we can have fun. And I think that's not too much to ask. Being more initiative, I think it radiates a positive energy. You don't have to feel like you always have to be in the passive side. Sometimes you have to be more aggressive in a good way, and you never know, something good might come out of it. Okay, so the last thing about being more initiative, usually I'm not the one to ask people out for dinner. Not in a romantic way, but like asking friends out to hang out and stuff. But when I got back from Spain, I realized that I'm graduating soon, and there are, I think friendship after you graduate school, if you don't make effort to keep in contact with them, the friendship eventually fades away. So I was laying in bed one day and I just thought about all the people that I really like talking to, and I don't really want me graduating being the reason why we faded apart. So at night, I just messaged a bunch of my friends who I really want to stay in contact with. So as a result, for 2 weeks straight, every day for dinner, I met up with one of my friends. And I think it's pretty nice because some people I haven't spoken to in a while, and it's really nice to just chat and have dinner together. And now I'm just very glad that I'm brave enough to make the first move to hang out with the people that I want to hang out with. So yeah, moving on to saying yes. I've said this so many times, but I think the main reason why I had such an extraordinary time in Spain was because I was willing to say yes. So when I got back to Taiwan, right now I'm mainly just studying because I've got this exam coming up, so I really can't do anything else other than studying. But I know for a fact if my life is now only filled with studying, I'm going to die of fatigue. I'm going to be so bored and so stressed out, and as a result, not being really efficient with studying. So since I'm graduating this year, there are some graduation student activities. For example, just last week, there was this music festival for graduation students. And normally I'm not a music festival kind of girl because I don't like the crowd, I don't like the noise, all the introvert tendencies. And usually for me, if I have to prepare for an exam and there's this music festival, I would choose to study. So I told myself this music festival only happens once in a lifetime. And if you missed out on this, you don't have a chance to experience it again. However, when it comes to studying, you can always study the next day. Sometimes some events only happen once in your lifetime. Sometimes time doesn't wait for you, so you have to make the best use of your time. That's why that day I ended up going to the music festival. I heard some pretty nice music, and I discovered some pretty nice Taiwanese indie bands, because usually I don't listen to Taiwanese bands. For some reason, I prefer piano, Broadway, or just English indie songs in general. But I ended up having quite a nice time there, experiencing what music festivals are supposed to be like, and it was just really nice, and I'm really glad that I said yes. So all the things that I mentioned, saying yes, being more initiative, and just going out more, does that mean I'm an extrovert? Absolutely not. I still stress out when I have to meet people, and I know for a fact that I shouldn't let my introverted instincts stop me from enjoying life. I'm a firm believer of the best things in life often happen outside of your comfort zone. So I know my introverted self may feel uncomfortable doing this, but I know I will end up having a good time. Therefore, I will always find the opportunity to step out of my comfort zone. Because sometimes if you don't participate in something, sometimes if you don't make a decision, you might end up regretting not doing it. Just say yes while you can, because life is short and you gotta enjoy it in every way possible. This is kind of like the journey of me becoming better at hiding my introverted self, and I just know that when it comes to certain things, I really have to channel my inner extroverted self, which sometimes I have to dig really deep to find it. During my years in college, especially with Spain and with transferring schools, those experiences allow me to be braver and less introverted. I'm not saying that introvert is bad. I mean, I'm an introvert myself, but sometimes there are certain experiences in life that requires you to just take the lead, and I feel like your introvert itself is going to pull you back instead of pushing you forward. So sometimes you just have to find the balance between being introverted and being extroverted. I'm just glad that with all my experiences in college, I'm able to be more mature and more initiative, more optimistic, and just happier in general. So yeah, this is me talking about me as an introvert and how I stepped out of my comfort zone and what good it had brought me. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I haven't uploaded a video in a while, but it's because, I mean, I filmed a video before, but when I was editing the video, the audio in the video was so bad. So then I went and did some research and I kind of upgraded my audio equipment. I feel like when you edit more videos, you become more and more strict with yourself, and as a result, you just want to create the best thing that you can. But sometimes in life, you just have to be braver, more initiative, and not that lazy. And you never know what good it can bring to you. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope you guys learned something from it, and I'll see you guys in another new video. Until next time, bye!